Hey everybody, Gabby here with your battle of the day. Today we're playing Galacticat from New Jersey. Looks like they're running a chalk team with Entei and Rotom. Kind of reminds me of Bopper's team from Texas, actually. He won with a Scarf, Rotom W, Kangaskhan, not Heatran. Was it Heatran? I can't remember. I actually have the paste bin he posted like in another tab, but I don't want to open that right now because I don't know what happens if I exit out of OBS. Well, not exit, but background OBS while I'm recording. So let's not find out because I don't want to record this again. Anyways, Galacticat has Kangaskhan, Rotom W, Aegislash, Entei, not Heatran, Cresselia, and Landorus T. All very interesting Pokemon. I would not be surprised if Rotom is Scarfed and Landorus is Assault Vest. That being said, I think I'm going to lead Entei Milotic. I'm going to bring Metagross, and then I think I'm actually going to bring Scrafty instead of my Landorus, because I have enough things that can deal with his Landorus just fine. That being said, I hope we have a good match, Galacticat. See, Galacticat just makes me think of Cookie Cat from Steven Universe. So, like, it kind of makes me excited because I like Steven Universe. I don't know. Anyways, there are my Milotic and Entei. You already know them. There are his Rotom and Kangaskhan. You don't know them. Yeah, so we will see what Rotom does here. What am I gonna do, you ask? I'm gonna protect on Entei, and I'm actually gonna switch into Scrafty here. I want to get the Intimidate onto his Kangaskhan, and then I want to be able to fake out next turn so I can have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to dealing with that Rotom. And he probably Thunderbolted the Milotic here if I had to guess. Or maybe it could be a physical Rotom. Ooh, no. Anyways, Kangaskhan is going to Mega Evolve. It's doing what Kangaskhan's do best. Send their children mercilessly into battle. Entei will protect. Already went over my logic behind that one. Kangaskhan will go for Fake Out onto the Entei, and then Rotom goes for Hydro Pump also onto the Entei. So not much is happening this turn. That being said, I am going to go for Sacred Fire, and I am going to Fake Out his Rotom in hopes of burning that Kangaskhan, which isn't going to happen because he's switching out into his Landorus. So a burn here would still be awesome. And Rotom's not going to do anything this turn because it's Rotom, so it's going to... I mean, it's not... Yes, it's Rotom that's getting faked out, not because it's Rotom. Unfortunately for me, Landorus, you know, uses its mad flying skills and dodges, so I think I'm going to be forced here to switch into Milotic, and then I'm going to go for Knockoff onto his Rotom. You know, with Scrafty intimidated at this point, the best thing I could do would be to switch in something to get rid of that Intimidate, but first I really want to deal with that Rotom, so let's do that. Landorus goes for Earthquake, of all things. I mean, it makes sense. You know, Rotom does have Levitate, and it's worth noting that Landorus is faster. So Scrafty dodges the Will-O-Wisp. Rotom is not Scarfed. Knockoff will get rid of its Citrus Berry, so it is a bulky Scrafty, which means Landorus is probably the one that has the Scarf. So I am going to keep Scrafty in this turn and go for Drain Punch onto Rotom, because Ice Beam should be enough to deal with that Landorus now that we know that it's Scarfed. I'm a little bit worried about the Thunderbolt from, oh, nope, it's Assault Vest. Crap. Okay. So I'm going to lose my Milotic this turn, to the Thunderbolt knockoff combo, which is a little frustrating, but it is what it is. I can send in Metagross next turn, and Mega Evolve, and then outspeed, so that's always good. Drain Punch will connect with Rotom. Does a decent amount of damage. Will give me a little bit of HP back. Not much, but a little bit. So, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. The tricky thing here is going to be getting Scrafty out before Kangaskhan comes back in, which I don't think is possible at this point, honestly. So yeah, let's go for Drain Punch again onto Rotom. I think it's going to go for another Will-O-Wisp here, honestly. Earthquake Will-O-Wisp is what I would do if I were in his shoes. But Mega Evolving here is really super important for me, especially now that we know that it's not Scarfed. So next turn will go better than whatever inevitably goes wrong this turn. Landorus does go for Earthquake again. Will do some damage to Scrafty. I don't know how much, but some. Does a lot. It crits. Crap. And he doubles into Scrafty. Really good play. Darn. If that Sacred Fire didn't miss and I would have gotten that burn, this game would be going so differently right now. That being said, I might be able to turn it around depending on what happens in the next turn. It really comes down to whether or not Ice Punch kills and whether or not I can somehow snipe a KO on Rotom. I don't think it's going to happen unless I get a crit, but you never know. We've certainly had worse turnarounds. Ice Punch will send Landorus onto its face, so that's nice at least. There's some poetic justice in that. Stone Edge will connect with Rotom and will get the KO without the crit. So it is 2 versus 2. Kangaskhan something versus my Metagross and my Entei. Question is, Kangaskhan what? Aegis Slash. Okay, yeah, we're still in this. We are still in this. So the biggest threat to him right now is Entei. That being said, he could Fake Out and Shadow Ball either of these things and I'd be pretty screwed. So I am going to take this opportunity to double protect. I want to see what he's going to do. It was really tempting, honestly, to not protect on Entei and to go straight for Sacred Fire into that Kangaskhan in hopes of burning it. But I didn't want to risk it, and it looks like I made the right play because Entei is going to not take damage from the Shadow Ball that inevitably happened. So now what is the question? I'm going to double into Kangaskhan knowing that it will probably Sucker Punch. Aegis Slash does not King Shield, which is frustrating. But that being said, I can take one Sucker Punch. If I can get rid of Kangaskhan this turn, I should be fine. Aegis Slash goes for the Shadow Sneak onto Metagross, which maybe I'll live. I live with 3 HP. Oh my god. Okay, awesome. Iron Head will do slightly under half. Sacred Fire will connect with Kangaskhan this time. I think the burn is going to be whether or not I win this game. I do not get the burn, which is frustrating. So that being said, what do I do? I am going to protect on Metagross. I need to buy myself a little bit more time. Because I'm pretty sure what's going to happen here is if I were him, I would Shadow Sneak Metagross and then attack Entei somehow. So my win condition here is killing Kangaskhan. Actually, no, I would double into Entei, thinking that like things would go bad if I didn't. So I am gonna double into Kangaskhan, hoping that if Aegis Slash does King Shield, which it does, and if Kangaskhan doesn't Sucker Punch here, I have this lockdown. Yes! Okay, Kangaskhan did not go for the Sucker Punch. Iron Head will take it out. Sacred Fire will connect with Aegis Slash, but because Sacred Fire is the beautiful kind of physical attack that does not actually make physical contact with Aegis Slash, we're golden. We are golden, which is just, yes. Yeah, so it looks like we didn't see a forfeit yet, which makes sense. I mean, he's still technically in this. Sacred Fire will miss Aegis Slash, which means Aegis Slash is probably going to go for the Shadow Ball into Entei right here. I doubt he would pick off Metagross, knowing that he can just Shadow Sneak it. Shadow Ball does crit. It does not get the special defense drop, which is what I was more concerned about. The real question here is whether or not he's going to King Shield. I'm going to assume yes, and I'm going to go for the substitute, actually. I am going to have Metagross attack straight into it, because Metagross is basically useless at this point. It's better to help give me a chance to flinch than its damage output, which is why I'm being a little bit more risky with it. That being said, now that I have the substitute up with Entei, I will not take damage from his attacks. So that's great, at least for one turn. So we have a little bit more wiggle room, if you will. So yeah, it's always really tempting. I mean, he is going to target Entei again, and if I lose sub here, it'll be bad, but I am going to just go straight for the attack. Iron Head will connect with Aegis Slash again, does a laughable amount of damage. Sacred Fire will connect with Aegis Slash this time. Thankfully, it will do not enough for the KO, Will it get a burn? Does not get a burn, but it triggers weakness policy. I should have assumed that it would have that, given the fact that it didn't have leftovers and it had Shadow Sneak. That being said, I'm hiding behind Substitute, so I won't die this turn. And I will restore some health. So really it comes down to whether or not my next Sacred Fire is going to hit. I am going to attack into that Aegis Slash again, and I am going to just outright protect with Entei this turn. On the off chance he doesn't King's Shield, trying to be like... Okay, yeah, good play. So Aegis Slash is going to Shadow Sneak Entei next turn. So it's going to come down to whether or not I live the Shadow Sneak. I don't know if I will or not, honestly. It's going to be one of those gross damage rolls. That being said, I could have gone straight into attack, but I thought that he was going to leave Metagross alone, honestly. Because Metagross was basically an insta-kill. Entei takes it, and Sacred Fire does connect, meaning I do get the win. That being said, it was really close for comfort. Too close for comfort. Sacred Fire, if that would have missed again, I would have been boned. So good game, Galactic Cat. That was probably the closest we've had on this channel in a really long time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please tell your friends, share this video, like it, tweet about it, do whatever people do on social media when they like something. And I'm gonna leave you for today. I hope you guys have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll see ya.